Since the early 80s, video games have become a medium of entertainment for all kinds of people. From their early development, we've seen new generations of game consoles, new genres of games, and seen video games become part of the sports scene. However, as video games became more influential and eye-catching in the digital age, the impact they have on people also became a topic of discussion. Just as other electronic mediums like phones can have an impact on people's behavior and mental health, so too can video games. Whether they're a benefit or danger to people is not a one-sided answer, since different games often provoke different reactions, feelings, and behaviors in different people. As someone who plays video games regularly and of different genres, I like to ponder the question of how video games can affect someone's mental health. This video will consider the positive effects of video games, such as improving well-being and cooperation, negative effects including bad behaviors and gambling addictions, and how video games have helped in treating attention disorders. As Mario would say, let's-a go! It's no secret that video games have slowly made their way into our living rooms. A study in 2019 found that out of 5,000 Americans, 73% play video games, being on the same wavelength as other entertainment such as going out or reading books. Besides being a great source of entertainment, one of video games' biggest benefits is the ability to improve one's well-being. One such study conducted by Professor Nicholas Johannes of the University of Oxford found a small positive relation between gameplay and effective well-being. Well-being is very important in a regular lifestyle, but it becomes increasingly more important when the world is in an unusual set of circumstances, hence the COVID-19 pandemic. With many forms of entertainment being restricted and everyone being forced to isolate during 2020, people began turning to video games as a coping mechanism. Many believe that video games help to alleviate the stress put upon them and found it a nice distraction from the outside world.
I think it's actually really helpful with it, because it gave me a chance to meet some new people and just kind of like forget about doing classes for a while, just kind of hang out and do some games, nothing really serious, so it's really helpful.
In addition to supporting one's own well-being, video games have also been shown to promote cooperation. In 2020, a study conducted by Wenhang Jiang of Shaanxi Normal University found that when playing a cooperative game such as Overcooked, players were able to incite trust within their teammates and show signs of cooperative behaviors. Cooperative behaviors were seen more often when games were played in multiplayer with human players as opposed to playing single player with an AI. Video games have been shown in the past to incite negative behaviors in individuals, one of the most impactful being the failure to recognize negative emotions in others. According to Vraj University PhD student Iwa Midzabrodska, problems with recognition of negative emotions in others may play an important role in guiding behavior of individuals frequently exposed to media violence. As a consequence, it may play a role in problems with real-life social interactions, not responding appropriately to social cues, and inaccurate reactions towards other people. In a study in 2021, it was found that the more hours players put into violent video games, the less they were able to recognize negative emotions. While this behavior might be effective in achieving the end results of a game such as an online first-person shooter, it isn't best for real-world interactions. While that's just one of the many potential negative effects, one of the other lesser known to most people is the formation of gambling addictions. Many video games, primarily online multiplayer games, will allow players to purchase loot boxes or crates which contain cosmetics or weapons of various rarities. However, loot boxes do share similar characteristics with real-world gambling, according to a study published by James Close and Johann Lloyd from the universities of Plymouth and Wolverhampton. Characteristics include the spinning of a wheel to determine a reward and placing something of value on an uncertain outcome, in this case, the player's real-world money. There is also a similar psychological response to loot boxes, similar to gambling, according to Close and Lloyd. It is not simply the allure of winning money that makes gambling so compulsive, but the deployment of intermittent rewards tantalizing the player with a potential to win at any time, yet never quite knowing when it will happen. Players often develop skepticism over the random system of rewards, which in turn makes them think that they'll definitely get something good on the next roll, when in reality, it's pure chance. Video games have so much more use than just being entertaining, as they've now been used as an actual treatment for attention disorders, an idea that's been explored for many years. It only became a reality thanks to the work of Eddie Martucci and his company Achille Interactive. The goal, according to Martucci, was to create an alternative type of medicine that functions just as effectively as other medicine. By combining a video game interface with neuroscience, they created Project Evo, a video game designed to act like a prescriptive drug. Martucci planned to petition Project Evo to the US Food and Drug Administration as a method of treating ADHD once testing had concluded.
But that said, the FDA has never seen or approved a medical device quite like this, that on the front end looks like a video game. So that process takes time. It takes education with all the stakeholders in the system, and really at the end of the day, it takes data.
Surprisingly, in the spring of 2020, the FDA approved the game, now titled EndeavorRx, as the first ever video game prescription for treating ADHD in children ages 8 to 12. While it isn't made as a replacement to other medicines, it's still a massive breakthrough for the pharmaceutical industry and a sign that video games have so much more capabilities than ever. Video games are becoming a more dominant medium in today's age, following the likeness of radio and television back in the early to mid-1900s. It's become a massive form of entertainment for those looking for a variety of experiences, while also being recognized for changing the way that we tell stories. That being said, I believe that video games aren't inherently good or bad. Although recent media coverage around them likes to say that they're all evil, that's never 100% true. Sure, video games might have some negative effects on people, but they're also positive in certain aspects of life, especially being able to form jobs and careers out of them. But always remember, almost everything has two sides to it, or in this case, a player 1 and a player 2. Thanks for watching.